The Madman! Welcome to my picks for the top 10 cards in Witchwood. Made a lot of daring calls on this one, so enjoy, but note that I did not make them just because they were daring. I theory crafted a bunch of decks, and these look like the cards that might be the defining point of these decks. Number 10! Chameleos is a very happy little 1-mana 1/1. Will it be the next Shifter's Era stud, or will it actually be really good? All I know is that across a lot of decks of Priest, I included Chameleos, Spiteful Priest, Control Priest, Death Rattle Priest. Chameleos, that happy little buddy, made it in. I think the noteworthy thing is that in Spiteful Priest, Chameleos allows you to actually cast good spells because your opponent should have good spells in their hand. Hopefully Chameleos turns into the right spell at the right time. And of course there's always the spying aspect. Helpful to know what AoE to play around, what removal to play around, etc. Number 9! Rotten Apple Bomb is a very good defense option, recovery option against the very scary world of aggro. And I foresee a world of aggro coming up. So if you're sensing that world of hurt, you better put in some Rotten Apple Bomb into your deck. Number 8! So this is a pretty big surprise, I'm sure, but Vexcrow threatens like Violet Teacher never could. Instead of a puny 1/1, you're getting a 2-cost minion. 2-cost minions can really beat in the face pretty fast. So I see this as potentially the next Flamewaker, the next thing that's going to change up Mage from its Secret Mage to Vexcrow type of deck. Caw! Number 7. In a world of mean aggro decks, hitting your face, wouldn't you like a 12 health taunt? Well, you'll actually get 12 health worth of taunt off of Witchwood Grizzly sometimes, I think. I think you'll get Grizzly at 9 health even more times than you'll expect. Aggro decks are coming. Hide behind your Grizzly, hide behind your Rotten Apple Bomb. And if they have a lot of cards in hand you're playing against control deck, this type of card wouldn't be good anyways. Maybe you just hold on to it. You play it if you have nothing else better to do. Number 6. Bellringer Sentry. Ringing in another deck archetype. I think that from my PTSD that I've gained from Mysterious Challenger, I looked at the Sentry, and even though Avenge isn't in there anymore, even though we pretty much are just running in the secrets from the classic set, I think this card's good enough with the Get Down, and the Repentance, and the Redemption. Really efficient card as long as you manage to pull 2 secrets in it. Try not to draw too many secrets. I think it's a worthy way to push a direction of this Call to Arms style deck. Number 5. Sandbinder. You're probably not going to understand this pick until you see number 2. Suffice it to say, Sandbinder digs through your deck for the specific combo pieces that you're going to need in order to achieve your super mega awesome combo wombo. And because I think you're going to be looking for specific elementals, I think Sandbinder is number 5. Number 4. Pinch Clan Thug. This card is basically 3 mana, 3/3 Gruul for Rogue. I think this card helps carry Tempo Rogue back into greatness. Turn 2, you either Keleseth, in which case you're super happy, or you Dagger, which is the normal case, and then you follow up with Hench Clan Thug. A 3 mana 4/4 with no real drawback since you Dagger up on 2. Anyways, as Rogue all the time, with the threat to keep growing and growing. Number 3. Lord Godfrey. Pretty much everyone knows Godfrey is going to be great, but believe it or not, there are 2 cards above this card. Fits right into Cube Warlock, or Control Warlock. Play it at 7 mana, or any mana really, after having played with the board a little bit, and probably is a Twisting Nether, which comes with a 4/4 for 7 mana. Pretty sweet. Number 2. Shudderwalk. So I think this card might turn the entire meta of Hearthstone on its head. There's been a lot of deck theory crafting around, but there are some 2-turn kills and even 1-turn kills that Shudderwalk is capable of doing. Now you're gonna have 200 IQ in order to play Shudderwalk, but I'm gonna try to boil it down to its basics. Before playing your Shudderwock, you must play a Serenite Chain Gang. You must play a Life Drinker. You must play either Murmuring Elemental into Grumble, returning your Murmuring Elemental to your hand, hence it costs 1, or play a Fire Plume Harbinger, hitting the Murmuring Elemental so that the Murmuring Elemental costs 1, and at a later time, anytime, you can play Grumble alongside anything else. So now, in your Battlecry bank, you have Serenite Chain Gang, you have Life Drinker, and you have Grumble. You've got your Murmuring Elemental costing 1 in your hand, and you have Shudderwock in your hand. You cast Murmuring Elemental and then Shudderwock. But wait, you say, Shudderwock's battle cries are random. Well, that's why we have the Murmuring Elemental, to ensure that no matter what the result, you're going to end up with a 1-mana Shudderwock in your hand. So it doesn't matter if you get unlucky and you don't get the Serenite Chain Gang to copy Shudderwock. By the way that works is that Shudderwock copies Shudderwock, so you have another Shudderwock in play. Or if you get unlucky and then have the Grumble effect go off first, and then Shudderwock copies itself, because you have Murmuring Elemental copying Shudderwock, so the Battlecry goes off twice. So therefore, even if you have the Grumble effect go off, then that means the second time around, you can either have the Serenite Chain Gang effect go off again first, and then you Grumble back 2 Shudderwocks in your hand, or maybe you have the Grumble effect go off, returning the Shudderwock to your hand, and then you have the Serenite Chain Gang effect go off, thus creating 2 Shudderwocks. And then you'll end up with some combination of Shudderwocks in play and having dealt 6 damage to the opponent and healed 6. Finally, now you have a 1-mana Shudderwock in your hand, and whenever you play Shudderwock, you're going to return all their Shudderwocks into your hand, but most importantly, you deal 3 damage and you heal 3. So you play 10 Shudderwocks the next turn, you deal 30, you heal 30, beautiful. And I predict that this is actually going to be a deck. And before we see number 1, honorable mention, Countess Ashmore. Someone I thought would originally be a shoo-in for top 10. I surprisingly didn't actually manage to put her in very many of my tier 1 and tier 2 decks, but seems to be at the very least a draw 2 in Q block. Number 1! Baku the Moon Ear. So what deck is this going to work in? Well, it turns out that I've theory crafted 3 decks that it works really well in, but I think Baku Hunter is going to be really strong. Being able to deal 3 damage with the hero power makes that Face Hunter deck, which is often short just a little bit of damage, have that constant 2 mana, 3 damage to face. And I think that'll push Face Hunter to be in a very strong spot. But even if Hunter doesn't work out, there's also Taunt Warrior, which seems pretty good. You can survive in order to finish off your quest. And then finally, Odd Mage is looking pretty good too. Combines with your big Spell Mage, 2 mana, deal 2. That seems very good. Praise Baku, I think there's going to be a decent amount of odd cost viable decks. So there's my top 10. Agree? Disagree? Hey, you always have the comments.